Today we're going to take a look at graphing quadratic functions. We're going to start with an analysis of this function here. We've got y equals x squared minus 2x minus 8. The first thing we're going to take a look at is the axis of symmetry. And we know we can find the axis of symmetry with x equals negative b over 2a. So for this equation, b is negative 2, so negative b will be positive 2 over 2. A is 1. So that gives us 2 over 2, which is 1. So our axis of symmetry is at x equals 1. And I'm going to sketch that in. Let's make this 1 on the x-axis. So the axis of symmetry will be right here. Okay, next. Once we have the axis of symmetry, we can find the coordinates of the vertex. The axis of symmetry goes through the vertex, so we can take our x equals 1, our axis of symmetry, substitute our 1 into our function, and find our y value. So y will be 1 squared minus 2 times 1 minus 8, which is negative 9. So my vertex is at the coordinate 1, negative 9. So let's plot that, 1, negative 9. I'm going to change my scale for my y-axis so I have room. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So right over here. And that's where my vertex will be. The next thing we're going to find are our x-intercepts. That's where the graph intersects the x-axis. And we can find that by setting y equal to 0. So if we set this equation equal to 0 and solve, we get that x must be equal to 4 and negative 2. So those are our x-intercepts at 4 and negative 2. And we can also find a y-intercept. That's where the graph is going to intersect the y-axis, and that's where x is equal to 0. And that happens when y equals negative 8. So our graph should cross the y-axis at negative 8. And since we know that this graph has to have symmetry, we can plot a point right over here on the other side of our axis of symmetry. And now we've got these really nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. Our x-intercepts, our y-intercept, its reflection, and our vertex. We connect those points. Whoops. We connect those points and we have our parabola. We're going to remember to label with the equation. Make sure you have arrows and that your axes are labeled. Make sure there's some indication of a scale on your x-axis and your y-axis, and then you're done. And here is our summary. In order to graph a quadratic function, you'll be given the function, and from that you can find the equation of the axis of symmetry, that's x equals negative b over 2a. Then you can find the coordinates of the vertex by evaluating your function at the axis of symmetry. So whatever you get here, you substitute into your function, and that will give you your y value of your coordinate. You find your intercepts, your x-intercepts, by setting y equal to 0, and your y-intercepts by setting x equal to 0. And then finally you make your sketch, and you have to remember to label. You need arrows, X and Y on your axes, a scale, and also you need to label the function with the equation.